These are 40 multiple choice questions and answers on property ownership to use as a study guide in preparation for your affiliate or broker exam. I'll be narrating these questions and answers for our viewers only listening to the audio. An action in court to determine the rightful owner of a property or to clear up clouds on the title to real property is called A. Specific performance proceedings, B. Interpleader action, C. Quiet title proceedings, or D. Probate proceedings. C. Quiet title proceedings. A person holding a life estate and called a life tenant cannot do which of the following? A. Sell the property, B. Lease the property, C. Mortgage the property, or D. Will the property. D. Will the property. Only one type of tenancies permits the unequal sharing of ownership. It is A. Tenancy by the entireties, B. Tenancy in common, C. Joint tenancy, or D. Tenancy in severalty. B. Tenancy in common. Alex Cross has conveyed the right of ingress and egress across his property. He has given A. An easement, B. A profit, C. A license, or D. An encroachment. A. An easement. The best freehold estate giving the owner the most legal rights and control of his or her property is A. Determinable fee, B. Fee simple, C. Fee tail, or D. Fee simple subject to condition subsequent. B. Fee simple. John Dutton deeds a piece of his property to his daughter Beth. She receives a life estate to the property, and her son Rip Jr. is to receive the ownership after his mother dies. Rip Jr. is A. The remainderman, B. The reversion, C. The life tenant, or D. The leaseholder. A. The remainderman. Mr. Steve McGarrett and Mr. Danny Williams own property as tenants in common. If either one sues in a court to divide the property, then each owner becomes a tenant in severalty to his divided part. Such court action is called A. An action to quiet title, B. Specific performance action, C. Partition action, or D. Interpleader action. C. Partition action. A tenant in severalty. A. Is a person who owns the property in his or her own name. B. Must be single. C. Has a life estate. Or D. Has the lowest of all property rights. A. Is a person who owns property in his or her own name. When a tenant attaches things to his rented house, such as fixtures, without the landlord's permission, they become the property of the landlord. The acquiring of title is called A. Accession, B. Accession, C. Alluvion, or D. Avulsion. B. Accession. In a condominium, each owner has a deed and fee simple to his or her unit. Does each owner have A, an undivided interest to the limited common elements, B, an undivided interest to common elements, C, no interest to the common elements, or D, a leasehold interest to the common elements. B, an undivided interest to the common elements. To pass legal title to real estate, a deed must be A, signed by the grantor and the grantee, B, signed by the grantee only and recorded, C, signed by the grantor only and recorded, or D, signed by the grantor only and delivered to the grantee. D, signed by the grantor only and delivered to the grantee. Title insurance is the best protection a buyer or a lender may have. Which of the following statements concerning title insurance is most true? A, both the buyer and the lender are protected against title defects by one single policy. B, title insurance protects against physical defects to the party named in the policy. C, only one premium is paid per policy, and the policy protects the named beneficiary as long as he or she possesses an interest in the property. D, it requires a certificate of ownership issued by the county court. C, only one premium is paid per policy, and the policy protects the named beneficiary as long as he or she possesses an interest in the property. Deeds are recorded to provide A, actual notice, B, adverse notice, C, constructive notice, or D, published notice. C, constructive notice. Upon death of a tenant in common, his or her share of the property ownership passes to A, the other tenants in common, B, the state, C, his or her heirs, or D, his or her children. C, his or her heirs. To acquire an easement by visible, continuous, hostile, and notorious use of someone else's property is known as A, a restrictive easement, B, a constructive easement, C, a prescriptive easement, or D, a dedication easement. C, a prescriptive easement. The property benefited by an easement is called the A, servient property, B, dominant property, C, superior property, or D, constructive property. B, dominant property. The ability to legally develop, build, and sell condominiums exists because of which state law shown below? A, the statute of frauds, B, the state's real estate licensing law, C, the Blue Sky Law, or D, the Horizontal Property Act. D, the Horizontal Property Act. Which of the following is not an involuntary form of alienation? A, descent, B, devise, C, adverse possession, or D, condemnation? B, devise. All of the following are examples of police powers except A, floodland use controls, B, building codes, C, fire regulations, or D, special assessments. D. Special assessments. Mr. Dwayne Pratt has sold his first half of his plantation to Mr. Christopher LaSalle. Since he has cut himself off from access to the public thoroughfare, he reserves an easement for himself. This easement is an A. Easement in gross, B. Easement appurtenant, C. Example of a non-transferable right, or D. Restrictive covenant. B. Easement appurtenant. Giving real property to the government with the government accepting it for public use is called A. Devise, B. Dedication, C. Desecration, or D. Accretion. B. Dedication. A notice of pending lawsuit that could create a lien on a property is called A. Lis pendens, B. Probate proceedings, C. Caveat emptor, or D. Habeas corpus. A. Lis pendens. The right a government has to take private property for public benefit is A. Adverse possession, B. Eminent domain, C. Condemnation, or D. Voluntary alienation. B. Eminent domain. Which of the following would least likely be in a deed? A. A competent grantor, B. An expiration date, C. A legal description, or D. A granting clause. B. An expiration date. When land was owned and controlled by a king, it was called the A. Feudal system, B. Allodial system, C. Freehold system, or D. Monarchy system. A. Feudal system. Which of the following has the automatic right of survivorship? A. Tenants at will, B. Tenants in severalty, C. Tenants in common, or D. Joint tenants. D. Joint tenants. Rights property owners have to river or stream water joining their property are called A. Littoral rights, B. Riparian rights, C. Accredited rights, or D. Adverse possession rights. B. Riparian rights. To pass personal property, such as furniture and vehicles, by a will is called A. Demise, B. Bequest, C. Devise, or D. Descent. B. Bequest. To pass real property by a will is called A. Legacy, B. Bequest, C. Demise, or D. Devise. D. Devise. A sewer line is an example of an A. Commercial easement in gross, B. Easement appurtenant, C. License, or D. Profit. A. Commercial easement in gross. The deed best protecting the grantee is A. A specialty warranty deed, B. A quitclaim deed, C. A general warranty deed, or D. A bargain and sale deed. C. A general warranty deed. 5 years ago, Brandon Beckett had a fence constructed along what he thought was his lot line. It was actually constructed 5 feet on his neighbor's property. A buyer today is interested in buying the neighbor's property but wants to know if there are any encroachments. This buyer should get A. Survey, B. Abstract of title, C. Title insurance policy, or D. Plat of subdivision. A. Survey. Kinsey Bly wanted a patio built in her backyard. The contractor she hired completed the job and billed Kinsey for the work which she did not pay. The contractor could do which of the following? A. File a lis pendens, B. Escheat, C. Obtain a mechanic's lien through a court of competent jurisdiction, or D. File a specific performance action. C. Obtain a mechanic's lien through a court of competent jurisdiction. The City of Hawkins installed sidewalks along a street benefiting about 50 property owners. The tax levy charged to these owners is called A. A special assessment, B. An ad valorem tax, C. A judgment, or D. A vendor lien. A. A special assessment. Harry Bosch wants to add a room onto his house, but is told he may not because the proposed addition will violate the setback requirements. Mr. Bosch may do which of the following? A. Apply for a zoning change, B. Apply for a variance, C. Apply for a partition action, or D. Apply for a restrictive covenant. B. Apply for a variance. A corn crop is an example of A. Real estate, B. Incorporeal property, B. Personal property, or D. Non-possessory property. C. Personal property. Dower rights are an example of A. Water rights, B. Spousal rights, C. Easement rights, or D. Governmental rights. B. Spousal rights. The deed giving the lease protection to a buyer is A. Special warranty deed, B. General warranty deed, C. Quitclaim deed, or D. Sheriff's deed. C. Quitclaim deed. The acquisition of property by open, visible, continuous, hostile, and notorious possession of someone else's property for the statutory time period is called A. Partition action, B. Adverse possession, C. Foreclosure, or D. Specific performance. B. Adverse possession. Which of the following is a physical encumbrance? A. A mortgage lien, B. A mechanic's lien, C. An easement, or D. A tax lien. C. An easement. That's all the questions we have on property ownership. Be sure and check out our other videos as you continue studying for your licensing exam.